Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Top Gun Options and our Tuesday Market Situation Report, or SITREP. My call sign is Wiz. My name is Matthew Buckley, the founder and CEO here at Top Gun Options, and just knocked out a good joint solo Amazon primary live trade brief and our weekly options brief. I think I had a mistake in the text. The XLY spread. So I had two spreads there. Bearish on FXI, which is the iShares China ETF, and also XLY. Obviously, the XLY trade is the one with the 128, 128 and a half strike. Okay, so make sure you. Obviously, if you look at the strike prices, you'll see that the symbols were just reversed. My apologies there, but had a great long weekend up in Detroit. My son got the silver in the Motown Classic in the hockey tournament up there. Man, it was freezing. And then my daughter won 2 championship jackets down in Daytona Beach at a cheerleading competition. Then my oldest son, Matthew, won his hockey game up in Vermont. So really a good weekend. Unfortunately, we had a bad Friday in a bunch of our trades, losing trade on Amazon. Boeing ended up melting down towards Friday afternoon as more death by 1,000 cut emails kind of came out, and some bad news kind of on the 777 and some software. So Boeing had some winning trades, XLY, Lulu, some good looking stuff, but man, a lot more painful than I wanted it to be on Friday. So we just knocked out that joint brief this morning for solo folks. The primary and weekly options members debriefed some lessons learned from last week, some lessons relearned, unfortunately for me. So a good brief, but we're getting back on the horse right now. Bearish trades on FXI. Market opened up down a little. Well, we'll get to the flu thing here in a couple minutes, but this is the SCMP, the South China Morning Post. China's trade war deal may be doomed from the start as skepticism mounts over capacity to buy U.S. products. Doomed from the start, skepticism mounts. Folks, I had skepticism since day one, 18 months ago when Trump's like, they're going to buy 50 billion in soybeans and, best deal ever. I don't believe any of it. I don't believe the paper it's written on, and it's almost physically impossible for China to in the blink of an eye, kind of stop buying cheaper stuff from Brazil, like soybeans, steel, aluminum, and then why would they buy it from the United States and pay more? It just, I don't know, man. This isn't, a close look at the data show that the numbers are even more unrealistic than first believed. That's not good. Okay, so I told you the market might actually sell on the news of this phase 1 signing. It's not a trade deal. We are still shooting at each other. There are still a lot of tariffs flying back and forth, folks. So essentially, all we did was have a signing ceremony that Trump absolutely wasted with 47 minutes of going around the room and high-fiving people. It was ridiculous. But remember, the market can remain irrational longer, and you can stay solvent, and we just kind of keep going higher here. We'll get into what the Limousine liberals, smart money in Davos had to say today, but here's the sleeper problem to this market, or could be a huge hit to this market. There's a deadly virus in China, this flu-like outbreak in central China. That's not good. 4 people have already died, and it kind of brings back to what happened in 2002. Remember, 774 people died in China. This isn't a Chinese thing, folks. People get on airplanes, man. China, a lot of Chinese flying to Seattle, San Francisco, Japan. We're already seeing outbreaks in Thailand, Japan, and South Korea. This is potentially bad. The economic consequences could be extremely concerning, let alone people dying. The economic impact would be devastating. So last night, the Hang Seng was the worst performer of Asian markets, down 2.8%, its biggest decline in 5 months. So add to the fact that the market has never seen this. I was 1 year old. You ready for this, folks? I'm dating myself. 50 years we have not seen this. 1968, I think it was, 8 or 9, whatever the data say, was the last time we had a stretch like this, and it ended spectacularly. So I'm not feeling super happy with where the market is right now, especially if this thing gets worse. Remember, folks, when China's saying they got some sort of pandemic outbreak, it's worse than they're reporting. You can count on it, okay? So Make sure you hedged. I bought S&P 500 puts last week. I got long volatility last week. Didn't know this was happening, and I'm glad I have all of that protection on because this can be this. Remember, folks, this turns into a panic. Excuse me. This is just don't leave the house type of things or don't fly. Airlines are in the tank today. Take a look at casino stocks. Wynn and Macau were getting hammered earlier, still getting hammered. Look, 4.5%. Look at that drop in Wynn. MGM, obviously, people ain't going to be flocking to casinos. Look at that, down 3.3%. People ain't going to be flocking to casinos or jumping on airliners in China. The FXI is down 4%. Look at that gap move down in the iShares China ETF. So I got filled on a burner trade. I looked at a bear call spread out to Friday, the 43.5, 44 bear call spread, and also bought some puts out about 3 weeks, right? I bought some 42 puts. They're essentially flat, down $150 right now. These are some kind of disaster puts, man. If this outbreak gets worse, I don't know how you contain this stuff, folks. It's already spread, right? The newly identified virus has spread between humans, a leading Chinese health official said, fueling concerns that the disease could be quickly transmitted across Asia as millions of Chinese travel for their annual Lunar New Year holiday. Oh boy. The virus has already claimed 4 lives, and the number of cases tripled Monday. Don't know, man. Keep an eye on this. Now let's go talk about all the limousine liberals in Davos who are preaching down our throats about climate change as they all flew there on their private jets. Gross. PTJ, Paul Tudor Jones, this morning said, this is the craziest policy mix in history. Reminds me of 1999. Not partying like it, but being scared like it. Everybody remembers what happened in 2000, the Pets.com implosion. This is nuts. The Fed continues to print money here, folks, as people get complacent, right? The Fed is stuck in QE4 hell, right? It's not QE4, but it is QE. Right. The main reason it's not QE is because these are shorter dated maturity treasuries. 400 billion mark, folks. They call it not QE because it's maturities of 12 months or less, and they're for a presupposed rollover within 12 months. We have a 100 billion per month run rate of QE, folks. This is absolute insanity. The economy is doing fantastic. Unemployment, earnings, you name the metrics, this economy is on fire. Why is the Fed doing this? Somebody explain this to me, because the Fed can't. They're stuck in QE4 hell. When, not if the market takes a big turn south, what can the Fed do? Nothing. They're already doing it when they shouldn't be doing it. This is bad, folks. You heard it here first. Steve Schwartzman runs Blackstone, man. $554 billion under management. Much fewer things to buy up here, man, because everything is way too expensive. Never seen before. This is wrong. We've seen this 50 years ago. When I was 1, was the last time we saw this market so complacent as everybody goes all in. This is insanity, ladies and gentlemen. But with 6 dead and 300 infected by the coronavirus, I don't know, man. This is a perfect storm on the horizon. Remember, the market can remain irrational longer than you can stay solvent, and we can just keep going up through here. I think we'd be higher today. Dow's was down triple digits. Now it's only down about 20, and the S&P's flat. But I don't think this is. You got to be very, 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 very careful up here, folks. I mean, like I said, I think the market would be higher today if it wasn't for this flu thing, because Donald Trump at Davos, what an absolutely bullish speech. And the man's right with all this stuff. The man is wrong with calling for the Fed to cut rates and even negative rates. This is disgusting what the Fed's doing right now. We are drunk right now on liquidity, and the bartender just doesn't want to stop for fear that we're going to all break out into a fight, right? Remember the taper tantrum that we had the last time the Fed propped markets up like this under Ben Bernanke and then stopped? Everybody remember? Yeah. So this is absolute insanity. Okay. So please make sure you take a look at the replay. I already sent out text and email alerts with our new positions. The one was wrong. Obviously, I had the wrong name in there. FXI versus XLY. Just take a look at the strike prices. In the email is actually screenshots of the trades, folks, so you can see that. And everything's posted on the member page here. I'm just waiting for the replay to finish rendering here, and then I'll post the replay. So all the trades are on the pages. FXI, it's the 43.5, 44 bear call spread. And the 42 puts, I looked at a burner trade there and also looked at a bearish trade on Lulu, the 245, 247 and a half. Lulu's shown nice, surprising strength here. Up at the top of this little range here. Hits the top of the Keltner channel, comes back, hits the top of the Keltner channel, comes back, hits the top of the Keltner channel, comes back. So got a pair of call spread on here. We might leg into an iron condor, but like I said, I got to wait to see how the Asian markets open to see if this flu thing is bigger than they're telling us. Looked at a bear call spread on XLY, maybe legging into an iron condor in addition to Amazon. I would not do Amazon, folks. If your broker's been stopping you out of trades because it is a little volatile, maybe sit on your hands and do XLY instead. But all the trades are posted. Apologize for the text that went out with the wrong symbol. I was rushing there, and that is on me. Okay, so be very, very careful here, folks. Markets at just stupid highs, and you got massive portfolio managers saying, I have no idea where to invest my money right now because everything is way too expensive. Those guys want the market to go down so they can come in and try and do some bottom feeding. So remember that. When, and not if, this market turns south, it's going to turn south with some airspeed and get obliterated. Okay? So make sure you hedge, man. It's just not a little cute sign off. I'm serious. Happy hunting. Go out there and do some good work, but make sure you're hedged right now because this thing in Asia gets worse and it ends up being a stampede. I guarantee you. That's why we did that burner trade on FXI. I think FXI is in a lot of trouble here. Okay. All right, folks. We'll be back tomorrow with Accelerate Retirement at 1 o'clock. And then Thursday, we got our weekly debrief at 10 a.m. I'm flying up to New York Thursday afternoon to spend the weekend with my mom, who's not doing so well. So if anybody's up in the New York area, maybe wants to get a drink and I'm buying, go ahead and shoot me an email. Okay. All right, folks. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge and God bless. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. We'll see you.